Okay, guys, ready? A man borrowed €15,000. He agreed to pay €2,000 after 1 year, 3,000 after 2 years, and the balance at the end of the third year. If the interest was charged at 8% in the first year, am I missing part of question 3? So, if the interest was charged at 8% in the first year, 5% in the second year, and 6% in the third year, how much was paid at the end of the third year to clear the debt, right? So here's what I suggest you do. I tend to make a little table, okay? And what I do is beginning and end is what I'll put down, or start and end. Okay? This is year 1, year 2, year 3. Okay? And what I can do here is this. We start off with 15,000. Within that 15,000, we increase our amount. We're charged 8% interest. At the end of this year, they want to. They're going to give us 8% on top of that. So multiply by 1.08. We're meant to pay. We currently owe 16,200. But what happens at the end of year 1 is that we have to deduct €2,000 from that. So we take €2,000 from that. So therefore, at the start of year 2, we're currently down to 14,200. Does that make sense? So do your interest first, take away the repayment. Interest first, take away repayment. Interest first, take away repayment. Okay? Once again, in year 2, how much interest are we getting this time? 5,000. So multiply that by 1.05. And what we get is 14,910. We once again do a repayment. Okay? And the repayment is 3,000. So this 3,000 gets taken away from your 14,910 to become 11,910. We add on 6% onto this new number. So our 11,910 multiply by 1.06 to increase it by 6%. And what we get here is 12,624.60. And at the end of year 3, that's how much we owe. Therefore, this is the amount that we have to pay to clear the debt. So that's our answer there. So just spell it out for them in the exam. Don't just leave it in the table. Just say answer equals 12,624.60. Okay. Any questions? And you're specifying that is a euro question. Okay, moving on. Say be alright, but if you remember it, put it in. Okay, this one's a bit more bit different. Okay, remember, I'm just gonna blank this out for a second. Okay, just blank these ones out. Now, what I'm gonna ask you now is this, guys. Okay, if I had €5,000, I started off with €5,000. And I said, look, I'm going to give you 4.5% interest. Everybody happy with that? 4.5% interest, right? How do I find out how much I have at the end of the year? I multiply by 1.045, okay? Now this 1.045, okay, multiply by my 5,000, tells me that I get 5,225. Now, I can word this in 2 different ways for you, okay? I can do this 2 different ways. I can word a question like this. I can say, these are interest questions, aren't they? Just 1 second. Okay, calculate the rate of interest, okay? I could ask you a question like this. So, from this information, I can make a question. What rate of interest would €5,000 would make €5,000 amounts to 5225 after 1 year. What's another way of asking the same question? What amount of interest would give you €225 interest in 1 year. Okay, now the whole point of the question is you actually don't know that it's 4.5%. I was just showing you that if you were to know it, that's what you would do. So at this point in time, you only have two pieces of information. You have 5,000 and you have 5225. They're the only two pieces of information you have. So, you can do it two different ways. The first way is you divide 225 by 5,000 and you multiply by 100. When you do that, you'll get 4.5%. Another way of doing it is if you got 5,225 and you divide it by 5,000, the number that would result in, is everybody looking? The number that would result in is 1.045, and we know that that's a number that adds on 4.5%. Okay? Now, I really like just dividing the old number by the new number, or sorry, the new by the old, because it's really quick and you'll find that it'll get you the answer straight away. Okay, so look at this as an example. Two of these are here, and all I have to do is this. If I divide we've added on interest, so if I get 2,600, I divide it by 2,500. What I can say there is 2,600 divided by 2,500, and it's 1.04. I know that's adding on 4%. Question 7, the same deal. 6662.50 divided by 6,500. 6662.5 divided by 6,500. What I'm going to get here is 1.025. What type of interest is that? 2.5%. Everybody alright with that? Okay. Next, guys, is this. We have to underline keywords here, okay? 20,000 euro. Rate of interest for the first year is 2.5. End of first year, we invest more money. Rate of interest for the second year, 2%. Calculate the value of investment at the end of the second year. So, that makes my job very easy. I can see that it's a 2-year question, and it's all about finding the end of 2 years. So, I draw my table once again, and what I do is something like this. Year 1, Year 2, start, finish, and then what I can write at the back here is further investment. Okay, so an example would be it starts at 20,000 euro. How much extra money do we get? It's interest, so the number's getting bigger. So how much does it get bigger by? So multiply by 1.025 is 1.25 would be 25% extra. Okay, so 20,500. At the end of the first year, I invest more money. So what do I need to add on? Plus 2,000. When I add on my 2,000, it's going to send me to 22,500 at the start of year 2. I then add on my 2%. So plus 2,000, then multiply by 1.02, and we get 22,950. Okay, that's done next. Now, at the end of the second year, a further sum of 1050 was added. And at the end of the third year, the total value of the investment was this much. Now, this is a change up from what we've done recently. What they're doing is they're going to make us work backwards. Okay, so year 3. Now, what happens is, do you want me to add on 1050? So 1050 I'll add it onto that. 24,000. Okay. At the end of the year, I have 24,720. Now remember the questions we just did a second ago. We'd usually get 24,000 and we'd multiply it by 1.0 something, wouldn't we? That's what we'd usually do. We'd multiply it by some number, and this number would turn it into 24,720. Our job is to find out what this number is. So you get the new number and you divide it by the old number. Does that make sense? So 24,720 divided by 24,000. Anybody got it? So 1.03 is what that number would be. The number in question is 1.03. And what does 1.03 mean? 3% interest. So look, you can see they're actually not that bad. Okay. Now, these ones, 14 to 17, there's a bit of working backwards going on. Okay. So once again, you're going to highlight your best questions. Oh, sorry, you're going to highlight your key information. We're doing well. So, 2 years. So it's giving us a general formula for questions 14 to 17. It's always over 2 years. We're going to work backwards from the end of the third year to find the sum of money withdrawn. A person invested this much for 3 years at 5% per annum compound interest. Calculate the amount after 2 years. Okay. So that's quite an easy question, isn't it? F equals P 1 plus I to the power of T. Now there's two different ways you can think of it. You can use your formula, which is in your notes. It can be 30,000 multiplied by what's 1.0? 5 added to 1. You're increasing it by 5%. How many times are you increasing it by 5%? 3 times. That's actually the same thing as doing this. It's actually the same thing as multiplying it, increasing it by 5% once, increasing it by 5% twice, increasing it by 5% 3 times. They're actually the same method. Okay? Advantage of this is it's in your notes. Okay? Now, what we're going to do there, guys, is 30,000 multiplied by 1.05 cubed. We're going to get that's a 34,728. Oh, sorry, was it 32 or 34? 34. 34,728.75. Okay, quite an easy first question. Nothing to worry about there. Oh, after 2 years. Sorry. Sorry guys, after 2 years, my fault. So, after 2 years, China has a squared 33,075. No decimals. No decimals. Okay. After 2 years, a sum of money was withdrawn. The money which remained amounted to 26,250 at the end of the third year. Calculate the amount of money withdrawn after 2 years. So here's what happens. If we zoom in on our potential chart that we would have had, what we would have had was year 2 would have been here, followed by year 3. Now, what happened was, this is start, this is finish. So, at the end of year 2, everybody looking? At the end of year 2, we would have had 33,075. Now, what happened was, the amount of money which remained, after 2 years, some money was withdrawn. So, there's some random number in here that was taken away from this number. So, in the blue box, there's a number like, I don't know, like something like 4,000 or 5,000 euro. In the red box, there's going to be a sum of money around, let's say, 28,000 euro, somewhere around there. Now, what happens is, this box here then gets increased by how much percentage is it going to get increased by? What does it say in the question? It's going to get increased by 5%. It got multiplied by 1.05. When it got multiplied by 1.05, it turned into 26,250. How do we undo multiplication of 1.05? What's exactly division? So we divide it. It's division. To undo multiplication of a number, you divide by the same number. So 26,250. Are we expecting a bigger number or smaller number? Smaller number. So 25,000. Now guys, this 25,000, which is here, this 25,000 guys, you listening? It came from the 33,005. How much smaller is 25,000 than 33,075? And that's how much we took out. So answer is you took out 8,075. I'll tell you